Putin attacks NATO, Moscow will be wiped off the map. Ukrainian drones attack Russian energy infrastructure and Moscow, and about deadly night raid in Crimea. Ukraine destroys Pantsir S-2, 2 oil depots and 2 radar stations. The latest news next. Belgian Defense Minister Theo Franken has declared that Moscow will be wiped off the map if Kremlin dictator Vladimir Putin decides to attack the capital of a NATO member state such as Brussels, reported by Franken in an interview with Belgian newspaper De Morgen. Franken emphasized that Western countries must not allow themselves to be intimidated. When asked whether he feared that Putin might one day launch a non-nuclear missile on Brussels, Franken replied, "No, because then he would strike at the heart of NATO and we will wipe Moscow off the map." Meanwhile, Franken said he doubts that Putin would dare to launch a missile at Brussels.
I'm more concerned about scenarios in the gray zone. Little green men in Estonia inciting the Russian-speaking minority against the Nazi regime. Before you know it, they'll have annexed part of Estonia.
Franken's warning cuts to the core of a brutal truth. The West must stop treating Vladimir Putin as a misunderstood statesman and start confronting him as what he has become, an autocrat driven by imperial nostalgia and contempt for international order. His actions have shown time and again that appeasement only feeds his aggression. The civilized world cannot afford to whisper when a dictator shouts with missiles. It is no longer enough to condemn or express concern. Putin understands only strength, and that is exactly what he must face. The democratic world must shake him, isolate him, and crush his leverage. That means relentless sanctions that choke his war machine, complete energy independence from Russian resources, full military backing for nations at risk, and an information war that dismantles the Kremlin's lies brick by brick. Anything less is weakness, and weakness is what Putin feeds on. The West must send a message that cannot be mistaken. Every threat, every invasion, every hybrid attack will be met with overwhelming, unified resistance. There can be no gray zones, no hesitations, no moral compromises. If Putin tests NATO, he must find not a divided alliance, but an unbreakable wall. This is not about revenge. It is about survival, the defense of the modern world against a regime that thrives on fear and chaos. Pressure must be constant, uncompromising, and absolute until the Kremlin realizes that aggression leads not to power, but to isolation and ruin. The time for cautious diplomacy is over. The time for decisive strength has come. Ukraine launched drone attacks on Russian energy infrastructure, disrupting air traffic across the country and sending several drones towards Moscow for the third night in a row. Russian authorities claimed on Wednesday, the 29th of October, reported by Reuters.
Russian air defense units destroyed a total of 100 Ukrainian drones overnight, including 6 over the Moscow region, and the rest over 11 regions in Crimea, the Russian Defense Ministry said on the Telegram messaging app.
A fuel and lubricant storage container in the city of Simferopol in occupied Crimea was hit by a Ukrainian drone and caught fire, the Moscow-installed governor said on Telegram. Russia's aviation watchdog Rosaviatsia said that 3 of Moscow's 4 airports and several others across the country were closed overnight for safety reasons. In the Republic of Mariel in Eastern European Russia, around 800 kilometers from Moscow, strikes were recorded near one of the region's industrial sites, although local authorities claimed that there was no destruction. Further south, in Ulyanovsk region, a brief fire broke out at the site where drones were destroyed, Regional Governor Alexei Ruskich said on Telegram. Unofficial Telegram channels claimed that Kiev had attempted to hit oil infrastructure in the area. Ukraine also launched several drones targeting the Budanovsk industrial zone in Russia's Stavropol Krai. On the night of October 29th, Security Service of Ukraine strike drones hit key military and infrastructure targets of the occupiers in Crimea, according to RBC Ukraine sources. The SBU Special Group Alpha strike drones carried out a successful operation against Russian military and infrastructure targets in temporarily occupied Crimea last night. According to sources, by morning, the Russians had lost a Pantsir S-2 anti-aircraft missile system worth around $20 million. It is one of the key components of the enemy's air defense. Additionally, 2 radar stations were taken out. Each destroyed or disabled air defense system significantly weakens Russia's defense in the Crimean direction. Moreover, Special Group Alpha drones struck a fuel depot in the settlement of Gvardiiske, where fuel was stored. A massive fire broke out at the site, sending a huge column of black smoke into the sky. There was also a drone strike on the Komsomolska oil depot, a source within the SBU said.
The SBU continues systematic operations to destroy air defense systems protecting Crimea and fuel depots supplying the enemy. Each such special operation reduces the military and logistical potential of the Russians. The Bavovna explosions, ironically, at Itur will continue.
More about situation in Crimea. On the morning of October 29th, explosions were heard and fires broke out in various parts of temporarily occupied Crimea. At least 1 fuel depot and possibly a military site were hit. Additionally, on October 17th, a fuel depot in Gvardiiske caught fire early in the morning. Satellite images showed 2 fire hotspots at the site. Online reports suggested that after such attacks, gasoline shortages in the temporarily occupied peninsula could worsen significantly. It should also be noted that later that same day, the Ukrainian Special Operations Forces confirmed that they had struck 2 fuel depots in Crimea. Russia has deployed about 11,000 troops in an effort to encircle the city of Pokrovsk in Donetsk region. The 7th Rapid Response Corps of Ukrainian Air Assault Forces has reported.
The enemy has deployed about 11,000 troops to carry out the plan to encircle the Pokrovsk agglomeration. The enemy groups that have managed to infiltrate the city aim to advance to the northwest and north of Pokrovsk.
The 7th Corps said that in their area of responsibility, Russian forces have built up around 27,000 personnel, about 100 tanks, up to 260 armored combat vehicles, and up to 160 artillery systems and mortars. The defenders of the Pokrovsk agglomeration continued to carry out the defensive operation, the Corps said. Over the past days, Ukrainian defenders in the 7th Rapid Response Corps area of responsibility have killed 90 Russian soldiers and wounded 42. Ukrainian forces have also destroyed 1 armored personnel carrier, 3 infantry fighting vehicles, 3 other vehicles and 1 motorcycle, and downed or landed 158 drones of various types. 18 Russian troops were killed in Pokrovsk itself. Journalist Yulia Kiriyenko has posted a video showing a Russian flag flying on an entrance sign in Pokrovsk.
Our troops have just sent me this video, a Russian rag on the Pokrovsk entrance sign. You can see everything for yourselves. No more words are needed. Strength to our armed forces.
According to Deep State, a Russian flag was spotted on the roof of Pokrovsk around 9:40 a.m. By 10:40 a.m., it had already been removed. That's all for today. Thanks for watching this video. Support Ukraine, like and subscribe.